food up. All right, get the monkey. Do it, kid. I'm gonna get the mug. Oh, no, I'm not.
Jesus, crackers.
Tuesday after the weekend show, Robo Toy Fest. Yesterday was kind of a busy day. I didn't really get much drawing done. I think I did a couple of revisions. So today I got back in earnest on inking the Red Ranger piece. I did an hour and a half, 2 hours on it earlier today. I'm going to try to do more later. I definitely feel like I'm in the groove. I did a little bit of redrawing. It was all done penciled, but as I started going in, I realized some of the details were a little bit soft, and then I got reference. I'm like, oh, that was completely wrong. So I cleaned up, I think, most of that, and then I completely inked one figure and started inking a second. I have the outlines for all of them done, like the heavy ink outlines of the entire body, which I wanted to do to separate it since there's so many. But anyway, I feel like on a roll. I definitely feel like I'm in that place of where, like, oh, I just have to do it. There's no more thinking, there's no more anxiety, struggling, whatever. I just got to put time in. And as I said before, that's a place I like to be, because even if I have 10 hours, 20 hours, whatever, it's just like every time I sit down, it's moving forward as opposed to struggling. So that's good. And having done the show, yeah, even though I wasn't really selling a ton of art and it wasn't like for that, I definitely want to move forward on the horror more than ever. I know I keep saying that, and I do. Going for a walk. So, I have digestive issues. I think I've mentioned this in the past, or maybe I've had health issues or whatever, but I did the show and I felt great. Like it varies from day to day, and I feel like really, really good and healthy all day. The next day I felt pretty good too, better than average. Today I feel horrible. I felt not so good in the morning, and then I kind of rallied and went and did some drawing, and then I've just felt terrible until about now. I mean, I still don't feel good, but going for a walk, sometimes exercise helps. And but I'm also trying to lose weight, partially for aesthetics, but mainly for health. Not a ton of weight. I'm not grossly obese, but I don't have a very good diet. That might not shock those of you that see me buy discount candy all the time, but honestly, it's not the discount candy. It's the day-to-day thing. It's not the once-in-a-while treats. Point being, I've been having avocado toast a lot for breakfast and skipping lunch. And today I did that. Actually, I had some vegetarian beef jerky for lunch, but it's like barely any calories and whatever. And I didn't feel good, and I was gonna have some rice and vegetables for dinner for both of those reasons. We were out of rice. I thought we had vegetables we didn't have, and all of a sudden it was like 7 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm starving. So I ordered a pizza, because that's my life. And it was delicious. I ate most of it. I didn't eat all of it. Eating a large pizza is not difficult for me. What's difficult is not eating a large pizza. I ate 2/3 of it. 2/3 of it? 3/4 of it? I ate more than half. And I feel okay, except I know that I shouldn't have. So I've also been trying to go for a walk every day. Or I've been trying to go for a walk more than I usually do. And I usually, I like my walks. But I wasn't going to go today because I feel physically bad. But after eating that pizza, I'm like, okay, well, that's one bad decision. Let's go for this walk. And I feel a little bit better. But the point being is, after that drawing I did in the middle of the day, haven't really drawn much since, because all the free time I had was just feeling bad. Did a little bit of housework and things like that, but a lot of feeling physically bad. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. My plan tomorrow, I've been doing the thing where I go to coffee shops or whatever to get out of the house to feel like I'm in work mode now. I have some free time for the first time in 4 or 5 years during the day. And there's the Hungry Dragon, which I've shown you before, that has some of my artwork on display. A new-ish gaming store. It's been months now. Has a cafe. They always plan to be a cafe. Hungry Dragon. One of the owners used to be in catering or ran a cafeteria. He was in food somehow. I don't remember. And they had sold some of my prints and told me this and sent me the cash. And I said, cool, thanks. I also have this Godzilla -1 print. Maybe I'll bring that by to replace some of the ones you sold. I said, is the cafe open? And they're like, it opened today. And I'm like, oh, so tomorrow I'm going to go there. And I'm going to, I don't even know. I know they have coffee. I don't know what kind of food they have. I realize maybe I'll bring some peanut butter crackers in case they don't have like food that I want. If it's like I'm sure I could be tempted to have a donut and then skip lunch. That's how you eat healthy, right? That's how I eat healthy. It's better than the other way, which is donut, breakfast, and lunch. But anyway, so yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do that. I really, really want to get this Red Ranger art done. I'm sick of setting and breaking deadlines. I want to have it done by the end of the week. It's Tuesday. Probably won't happen, but that's my goal. And I guess it's better to set and break goals than to not have goals. They say shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you'll get the moon. I'm like, I'm shooting for something. If I get something, it's better than nothing. I'll shoot for one town over, and if I get out my front door, that's something. I am working from home. The Hungry Dragon doesn't open until 12 most days, including today. I should have known that, but I guess it just never occurred to me. I was looking to see, I wonder what they have at their cafe. Like, will they have something I could have there for breakfast or lunch? And then I saw that they're not open. So I came home here, and I've been working at my desk for about an hour. Again, I'm feeling positive about doing work, but I basically finished inking this one figure. It was already penciled, it was already partially inked, and this one yesterday took me an hour and a half. So by that math, each one of these characters will take me an hour, maybe not. I did have to do a little bit of redrawing on the costume of this one, but you can see just inking these characters is going to be many, many hours still. I'm repeating myself, but I'm glad I took this. I'm kind of borderline enjoying it. It's going to be a good print. The person waiting for it has been waiting patiently for a very long time, and I feel bad how long it's taking, but I feel like they're more than getting their money's worth, and I really put a ton of work into this. And after this, I got some sketch cards to do, but I'm glad I'm glad I've decided / I'm able to not take commissions for a while, because yeah, it's just the time, the added pressure of somebody's waiting on this at a time when I'm having a hard time. It's the difference between, it's tough, because if there's a deadline, I'd have to get it done. I'd have it done a lot sooner. And I talk a lot about how I spend too long drawing things, and that's true, and I do need to speed up. But because I'm taking my time, I mean, I'm not being lazy about it. I'm working on it every chance I get, but I'm not rushing. I feel like just by doing this drawing, my skills have gotten better. There's still a lot of places I'm having trouble with anatomy and hands and perspective and layering and tangents, but I'm tackling all of those multiple times in this one drawing, and I'm taking my time and redrawing it as much as I can. There are still flaws I see in here that I'm going to have to let go, because it would take too long to learn that or fix that. But I feel like my skills across the board have leveled up by a few percentage just working on this drawing, because I'm allowing myself to learn how to do it as I'm doing, which is something I feel like I'm always doing. Like how do you paint this wall? Well, let's figure it out as we're doing it. And I feel like most artists do a lot of learning ahead of time, and I did that early in my career, but more and more I'm learning on the job, even though I've been on the job for, however many years, more than a decade. But I'm allowing myself to do that with this, and it's fine, except that there are people waiting for it.
Thursday, and I just put about 2.5 hours into this, which basically means that I did this entire figure, that one, and this entire figure. I redrew this hand about 1,000 times, but generally, that was probably the half hour, so generally this took me about an hour each, which corresponds with what I've been doing, which is, I'm satisfied that I did a good amount of work just now, but if I do some quick math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Does that mean I have 13 hours of work to do before I start coloring? That's madness. I don't know.
So yeah, theoretically, if I maximize my time, like the kid is at school theoretically for 4 hours a day, but that doesn't equate to 4 hours a day of free time. We often get there late. I often get there a little bit early to pick her up. So with travel and everything else, 3.5 hours, 3 hours maybe. But even, let's say I do 3.5 hours on average with all the other things going on there. With getting home and picking her up, and just like the transition period between getting where I'm going, whether it's home or a coffee shop, setting up, breaking down, using the restroom, whatever, it starts to turn more like 3 hours. And yet today, I pretty much dropped her off, came straight here, and now I'm kind of heading out, and I drew for about 2.5 hours. Maybe if I went straight home, I could have got 3, but it's tough. It's tough to, it's a good chunk of time. Well, and here's the other thing. People are saying, like, you got 2.5, 3 hours of drawing in as a parent, you know, with other stuff going on in your life. That's actually not bad. I guess it's not, but this comes back to how slow I am. Oh, right, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. That means at the rate I'm going, I won't be done with this at the end of the week. If I can use all that free time, let's say I do 3 hours. I just said I had so that's like 3-4 days. It's like every day this week and half of next week to get to coloring. And that's if I spend all my free time working on it. Yeah, I don't like to think like this because it's depressing. I've talked before about shipping prices with my prints. I have 3 print orders, 2 of which are in the United States, which is where I am, and 1 is in the United Kingdom, England. And I had raised my shipping to England for an 11x17 print, less than £1, flat, $11.99. And the cheapest I'm seeing it, $28.92. FedEx is like $100. UPS is unavailable. USPS, the cheapest, is $28. Now, it's possible there's some workaround of some cheaper system if I don't go through Etsy, but even if there is, I would usually use USPS or one of the others there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this print because they paid for it and they're expecting it, but I will be losing money because they gave me like $35, I think, ish. Shipping is $29 with the printing costs and the materials. I'm making no money and I'm losing money. But so I'm going to once again have to raise my international shipping prices, which is dumb because I'm missing something. If somebody knows something, tell me. But why does it cost $30 to ship this? It's just a flat. It's disappointing. Regular dark. Go. Feeding the cats, filling water in their fountain. I haven't made a video in a few days. A lot of stuff's happened, nothing bad or whatever. Just like, oh, there was Father's Day, and then there was a birthday party, and we had to do a thing at school, and my mom, and blah, blah, blah. Just things, been busy. That being said, I have continued to work on that Red Ranger print almost every day. I'm gonna say for an average of an hour a day. Some days I got 2 hours in, some days I got like 15 minutes in, but you know, since I've last spoken with you, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7, you know, many hours, taking forever. I'm kind of enjoying it, but I have other work I need to get to. I have deadlines, blah, 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 blah. Perfect example is today. I didn't get to work on it during the day. Tonight, I just did about an hour and a half on the red Dino Charge Ranger, which was already penciled and half inked, and it's still not finished being inked. I had to redraw the belt buckle insignia and the insignia on the chest and then the patterning on the arm. And that's what's tripping me up a lot in this later phase with a lot of these Rangers where I feel like I'm done. And then I'm like, oh, I kind of roughed in these details, which are fine until I go to ink them. And because all of these Rangers have really, the boots are all different and there's a stripe that's different. And so I have to keep going back and double checking stuff and then redrawing it. And it's taken a while. But anyway, that's what's going on. Finished the scales that have been vexing me, and I started doing the inks on, well, I started finishing the inks on Mystic Force Red. There's the Eiffel Tower of Flower Umbrella behind me. I just spent an hour redrawing Mystic Force, well, not redrawing, finishing inking Mystic Force Red, which I started yesterday. It was a lot of doing the sword, redrew the helmet, redrew the energy effect, and I'm about 15-20 minutes in on this fellow here, and I was like, oh, I have to redraw the helmet. And that's been happening a lot, where this is something I talk about in my work in general, and it's gotten better over the years, but like, I do kind of loose pencils to just get through it and get the poses and keep it fresh and not stiff and not get too bogged down so that I don't have these like perfectly tight pencils that then I have to ink. And then I have to go back and repencil before I ink. I think it's still worth trying to be looser for a variety of reasons, and one of which, everything I just said, quicker, looser, becoming less tedious, but one of the things is that as time goes on the last couple of years, if I keep it a little bit loose, It's still pretty tight by a lot of people's standards, but if I keep it a little bit loose, there's less redrawing. There's still gonna be some, but there's less. But anyway, I just got done redrawing that helmet. All right, so I've spent 2 hours here. The first hour finishing up one ranger that I'd already started. The other redoing that helmet, redoing the glove pattern, and redrawing this hand several times, and I'm still not thrilled with it. So 2 hours, and I can't even say I finished inking one character. God. Welcome to Kittyland. Here in Kittyland, we have two kitties. We have Uzumaki Kitty and Star Commander. And they both meow and meow at all hours as long as they want to get fed. And sometimes they'll meow even when it's not time to get fed. So we tell them, sit. Oh, you're already sitting. Good cat. Star Commander, we ask to talk. What do you say? Wow, wow. Where's your second wow? Meow, meow. Wow. There you go. All right. In Kittyland, we have a fairy that runs things. And that fairy
Is me, and I rule with an iron fist. Don't get a whisker out of line, or no treats for you.
All right, it's about 8:30 on Monday. I just dropped the kid off at school. I'm gonna go to the local coffee shop, the one that's right here. And my plan is to stay there until I have to pick her up, which is in a little less than 4 hours. Now, experience tells me that that gives me maybe 3 hours to work. I'm gonna start outside, and if I have to go inside after, so be it. But I gotta get this thing done. I got other things piling up behind it. And I'm also in that bad situation where I have the mental, physical, emotional energy where I'm like feeling inspired to do a bunch of different stuff and work on things, whether it's the horror or little fun things for family members or practice working on my anatomy or whatever. Like, I have that ambition, that drive to do those things, but every second I have to work on these commissions. So I want to get them out of the way. I also had a friend of mine just ask me about another commission, and I had said, and I stand by this, I'm not taking commissions right now. Like, till at least the end of the summer is what I said, maybe longer. But this particular person is a personal friend, and it's a kaiju themed thing. So it's like, ugh. But yeah, I don't know, that's a maybe. But I gotta get some work done, so I'm gonna go do that. All right, I'm at the coffee shop. I've been here about an hour and a half. I think I've been drawing for about an hour and a half. And most of what I did, you can't see it now, but I finished Z05. I had to redraw all this little technology stuff. It's ridiculous. I redrew it several times, and I keep coming back, and then I gotta draw it again. Now, I do think it came out pretty good and has dimensionality, and it's more accurate and stuff, but it is a thing where, like, this was like the fourth time I redrew it, and that's basically what I did for an hour. And then I've been working on this character here where I'm also redrawing. I keep coming back to slow down to speed up, first get good, then get fast and good, which is a weird place to be, you know, however many years into my career here as an artist, professionally or otherwise. And I feel like it's a cycle thing where that's something you learn hopefully early on, and then as you get better or tackle new challenges, it repeats, and I'm not good at recognizing these cycles because I feel like I am improving in certain ways and growing in certain ways, and I'm not slowing down to work on that. So I'm kind of quickly creating to a level that was my peak, or that I found satisfactory a couple years ago, and I'm getting it there. And then when I'm cleaning up in the inks, I'm redrawing because I either am better and have learned more, or at least I perceive more flaws, and so I need to slow down, maybe do another step. I mean, I can't do anything about this commission right now. The next one, maybe I'll take another pass before going into the finals or whatever, but it's frustrating because I want to be done, but I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying drawing this. I think it's coming out good. I'm just frustrated because of how long it's taking and how little time I have overall. Yeah. A more comfortable transition. Today's the last day of my kid's school, and I just finished the inks on the Red Ranger print. Now, I wanted to be done. I wanted to be done with this and the next commission, but the coloring should go easier. I say that, you know, things could go wrong, but they're all red, so I started the flats. I'm feeling good. It did take me about 20 hours to ink it, It took me about an hour per figure. And it probably took me 20 hours to pencil it. So I'm like 40 hours deep on this. And I'm not getting paid a lot. The person isn't being cheap or anything, but this comes back to like, I'm so slow that like to charge, if I charged hourly, it'd be like $1,000 for this piece, which is ridiculous. So I think, yeah, commissions, definitely not doing commissions for a while. But I'm happy to be where I am right now. Not in this parking lot, but you know what I mean.
It's 9:17 and we have some friends coming over. So I'm supposed to be getting ready, but instead I'm doing this.
Partially because I don't feel particularly well and I'm having trouble just physically motivating myself to get up and do things, like shave, for example. But I was sitting here and my iPad's there, and since I got done with the inks, and even towards the end of the inks, I was ramping up in terms of enthusiasm, in terms of motivation. But now that I'm on flats, I'm just cruising through because I don't have to put a lot of mental energy into it. It's just a lot of just doing it and production line stuff. Once I get all the flats done, I have to do, you know, shading and other colors, then it might get a little more difficult / interesting. But right now I can just pick it up for 10 minutes. Like I talk a lot about like, oh, I only have 10 minutes, I have a half hour. It's hard to like work in that time because you kind of got to remember what you're doing in the project and your mindset and how am I inking this and am I in the mood and all this stupid art stuff. But when it's just like, oh, I just have to color this whole figure red, or now that I have it red, I have to block in the whites. You can do it in 5 minutes. You can do it in 3 minutes. You can do it in 17 minutes, or at least I can. So I'm laying here not feeling good, trying to motivate myself to get ready for people to come over, and I'm putting like 10 minutes of flatting work in. My arm is hurt. I've never been a big fan of physical labor ever since I was a child, and that continued into adulthood, which is probably why most of my jobs have been in air-conditioned retail stores or art. I don't like sweating, I don't like exerting myself, and I don't like hurting myself. And I seem to always be able to hurt myself. Interrupted, having friends over, doing a pool day thing. My arm still hurts. I did take an ibuprofen, I iced it, I elevated. I have an elbow brace on it, even in the pool, which I don't even know if it's the right kind of thing to put on there, honestly. It feels better, it still hurt. If it's hurt till the end of the day and I gotta be a little tender with it, that's not the end of the world. But sometimes I get these weird arm injuries that just don't go away for weeks and months and just keep aggravating. And it's my right arm, and I'm very frustrated about it. I'm trying not to think about it and have a good day, but I've been on such a roll with a lot of things, like drawing and stuff, that like if this and I've also, for whatever reason, I injure my elbows a lot doing almost nothing, and it'll affect my sleep because I'll roll over and wake up. So I'm really hoping this isn't a big deal, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day and have some subs and see what happens. Sunday, and I'm looking at plants, I suppose. These look more like plants. An expert in the green. Look, a leaf. Don't worry, I'll talk slowly for you. Pot. Actually, I'm not sure if that's a pot, so I better get out of here. It's 11 o'clock, Sunday, July 3rd. This is the week, well, my arm. I don't know. My arm is feeling better. It was really bad Saturday. It wasn't great Sunday. Today is Wednesday. Yesterday, like the last couple days, it got better. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be like a really bad injury. But I babied it. I took ibuprofen. I wore a brace, and today it feels fine. Yesterday, it felt pretty fine too. My only worry now is that I'm going to forget and use it and injure it, but right now it's fine. I haven't had a chance to do anything, but my mom is over right now. And so I'm upstairs. I'm going to try to draw for an hour and a half before lunch. We'll see how that goes. So I'm feeling hopeful. It's Thursday, 4th of July. We have no 4th of July plans. We don't have a ton of friends and family in the area, and the few parent friends I have are all gone or busy or whatever. And the kid doesn't really stay up late enough to see fireworks. Tech advisor Erzuki has the day off, so we're going to just sort of hang out. We're going to go in the pool and keep it kind of a lazy day. For the first half of the day, I'm going to do that. Second half of the day, I'll have some time to myself, and I plan on trying to get some more drawing done like I did yesterday. So this is the first week of the difficult month, and it hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be, and I've managed to get some work done, and I'm hopeful that in the next couple days, I'll be able to finish this Red Ranger print. Theoretically, jump right into those sketch cards. I might take a break for a minute and just do something else art-wise and or house-wise, and then dive into it. But like the light, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's 5 o'clock, 4th of July. After going in the pool and stuff, I laid in bed for hours. I was trying to not go to sleep. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch TV, but I looked at my phone, like not even really doing anything for like an hour or two just to try to not fall asleep, which maybe I shouldn't went to sleep. I don't know, whatever. I went and got a Starbucks with the idea that if I go get a Starbucks, I have to work. And I came home and I've been working for the last almost 2 hours. And most of that was finishing the flats on the Red Ranger thing, which I'm actually not showing you now because I have them invisible, but I finished there was a lot of like weapons that had a lot of intricate detail that I had to look up separate reference for. And this is Kaku Ranger in Japan. It was the Alien Rangers in the US. And it was really difficult to find reference for this sword. And I had drawn and inked it, and I don't know what reference I used because it wasn't like a little off. It was like just completely wrong. The perspective was wrong, but I was almost going to be like, I'll just leave the perspective because whatever. And actually, the one I'm looking at now, the perspective is slightly off too, but I'm like, I could live with that. But it was just like way wrong. And so I still can't find good reference, but I found a toy, and I found like cosplay, and I found something else, and they're all slightly different, but any one of those are closer than what I had. So I redrew it completely, and now I have to re-ink it. And once I finish this, I'll be 100% done with the flats, and I could go into the shading. I already put a rough shading layer on it to make sure it works, just like with like a blue, which I might even leave at like a low opacity. Anyway, progress, good. Hey, Americans' birthdays. What? That's not how you say it. So it's July 5th. I got a surprising amount of work done yesterday. The flats are all done. I went back in and did all the, well, I talked about this. But anyway, today I am, it's so hot. It's like, I think it's 95, but it feels like 1,000. Wow, I can't think. That's better. I'm in the store now, so air conditioning is allowing me to breathe and think. Anyway, I wanted to come over here to go to Aditi's because there was reports of these awesome discounts on some toys, but I didn't find anything. There's also a comic store around here I want to check. This is near my mom's house. And so I was going to come down here with the kid and do a little shopping and air conditioning so that we got a little getting out of the house, but not actually outside. And anyway, long story short, my mom and her are hanging out while I hit the stores, and then we'll all go get lunch later. So that's what I'm doing. And it looks like they moved the kids' toys section. So I don't know where I'm going. Okay, so there's nothing at Burlington. It's 99 out right now, so a little bit closer to 1,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever I said. I'm gonna check a GameStop and then see if I can find that comic store and then head back for lunch. Luckily, we're gonna eat inside for lunch. Normally we eat outside, but it's, wow, just walking to my car. I know I'm not alone in dealing with the heat wave, and there are some people I know that probably live in hotter areas than me, but I'm a baby, and I hate it. I just hate it so much. I can't wait till fall comes. This is one of the most well-stocked Walmarts I've seen in a long time. And not that it's amazing, but it's fine. Usually it's terrible. Well, Walmart was the winner. It had one of these late Masters of the Universe figures. This is the line I play with my kid. I don't know if she'd like this character. She typically likes girls and non-humans. And this is a non-human, but they're a little bit scary. But this is one of a couple that have released recently that are hard to get. So this was like 17 bucks. But even with a slightly damaged package, I know I could sell it for 50 or 60 or trade it. So if it's something that we end up not wanting, it's still a good score. Went to a town over to have lunch. It was 111, 113. This is wild. But now we're back to my mom's house where it's 107.
Commander?
Look at this little flomp over here. She's such a little fuzzy happy. Sleep with one eye open. So I just replaced these light bulbs by putting that ladder on stairs. One of the many things I hate about being an adult and a homeowner. I don't want to do that. Why did they put a light, at a place where you have to get on a ladder on stairs? And it's awkward. It's not like, oh, I'm most of the side. It's like my head's kind of in it. Also, those light bulbs, impossible to get. The ones that we replaced are now illegal. They were probably there from 30 years ago or whatever. And so we got ones that work. I wasn't sure they were gonna work because they looked like they didn't, but they're weirdly bright. Like they don't have like, cause there's no glass or anything on that. So we got ones that work. And I got on the stairs and did it. We also had to order them online. They didn't have them Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, nothing. Being an adult, it's for the boo-boos. That's like birds, but worse. as far as this video, I guess that's the... I should take a picture of myself next to this, like, and then they could post that on social media when I'm dead.